All right, guys, sorry I'm not there today. We will continue reviewing inequalities, but since I'm not there, I wanted to go ahead and have you guys start practicing a little bit on inequalities since the rules are really the same. So you should have a packet, and I expect you to finish this presentation up in about 30 minutes or so following along, so make sure you stay on task, okay, because there are other assignments. So this is the first sheet you see, and I want you to take a minute and fill in using the words down here in the word bank up here in the blanks. See if you can figure out which words mean is less than, which words mean is greater than, which words mean is less than or equal to, and then which words mean is greater than or equal to. Once you've gone ahead and tried that, go ahead and continue the video and check and see if you got the right answers. All right, so you'll see I filled in the chart with the words from the bottom. Go ahead and check them each. Is less than, you would say is fewer than, is smaller than, anything like that, okay? Is greater than, is more than, is bigger than, things like that, okay? These words in the next two blanks are the ones that we find the most difficult when I see them on a test. So you're really going to want to pay attention to them. And you might need to make some changes if you made mistakes when you did it on your own. So when I say at most, think about saying you can bring at most 3 friends with you to the movie. Okay, so you're at home, your mom says, we're going to the movie, you can bring at most 3 friends. Is she going to be okay with you bringing 3 friends? Yes, so that's where the or equal to comes in. Is she going to be okay with you bringing 5 friends? No, at most 3 means 3 or less. So maybe you only want to bring 1 friend, that's fine. Same thing with no more than. A lot of times I say you can spend no more than $20 on your new outfit for school, okay? No more than $20. They're not going to let you buy a $50 outfit. Let's look at these ones. At least. If I need you to study for at least 30 minutes tonight, I'm not going to be happy if you come home and tell me you studied for 5, okay? No less than. No fewer than. A minimum of. All of these mean they need to be bigger. Okay, so make sure you take a second and correct any mistakes you made when you did that warm-up, and then go ahead and continue. So here's a quick review on graphing. So if you want to go ahead and give these a try, then you can go ahead and try those out. When you do these, you really only need the number before and the number after the number you're putting on the number line at the most. So I don't want you spending a whole long time making a number line when you could just put those 3 numbers. So don't feel like you need to put a whole bunch of lines on the number line and make. Go ahead and try all of these and then continue when you're ready to check. All right, so the first one should have had an open circle as you see above, and if x is less than 3, the numbers that are less than 3 are to the left. Okay, the next one has an open circle, and x is greater than 3, so you could either shade above the number line like this, or you can shade right on top of the number line. Okay, the next one, x is less than or equal to 3. You're going to fill in your circle, shade to the left. X is greater than or equal to 3. This one is again filled in. So when I say or equal to, I'm filling in the circle because the number is included as part of my solution. Okay, if it's not equal to 3, then I'm going to just go ahead and cross out the number line. These next two, notice my x comes second. That can get a little confusing, but sometimes it'll happen when you're solving. So notice here, 3 is smaller than x. That means x has to be greater than 3 or bigger than 3. If the big side of my inequality is with the x, then when I rewrite it with the x first, the big side should still be with the x. Okay, so now I can say, well, this is the same as x is greater than. If I pick a number over here, so example 4, 3 is smaller than 4, 4 is bigger than 3, so it works. Same thing here, when I rewrite this, 3 is greater than or equal to x. I keep the big side with the 3, so this time I fill in my circle and I end up with x is less than or equal to 3. So hopefully you got those right. If not, go ahead and take a second to correct them. So now we're going to go ahead and try solving 1 and 2 step inequalities. I'm going to do the first 2, and I want you to copy them down as we go. Then I'm going to ask you to try the next 2 on your own and check them. So here's a 2-step inequality. You solve it just like an equation. We still have our line down the middle. We start with adding and subtracting before we multiply and divide. So I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides, which crosses this out. I'm left with 2x. I bring down my greater than sign. It's greater than 12. And then 2 times x is greater than 12. I divide by 2 to cancel the 2. And I'm left with x is greater than 6. Okay, I put the 6 on my number line. Go ahead and put the 5 and 7. And then I'm going to have an open circle to the right. Okay, so what is the solution? I want you to write down the word solution here. Okay, is 6 the solution? 6 is not a solution because 6 is not bigger than 6. Okay, so no. So what is the solution? If you said anything bigger than 6, so 6.5, 7, 10, 10,000, any of those numbers would be a solution to this inequality. Okay, so next, go ahead and we'll do the next one. We have our line. And again, we add or subtract before we multiply or divide. So here I'm going to add 5 to both sides because I'm trying to get that 3n by itself. Okay, 7 plus 5 is 12, which is greater than or equal to 3n. Again, to cancel the 3, because I'm multiplying, I divide. And I get 4 is greater than or equal to n. And then I'm going to go ahead and rewrite it like I did on the first page. N is, small side goes at the end, less than or equal to 4. So I have a 4 here. I have a filled in circle. And it goes to the left. So, is 4 a solution? Yes, it is, because 4 is less than or equal to 4. 4 is equal to. So it works. Okay, give me one other solution. Some examples you might have picked were 0, 3.5, negative 10. Anything smaller than 4 would work. All right, so I want you to go ahead and try these on your own. You can hit continue when you're done with A to check it, and then you'll have a chance to try B before you check it. Okay, this one starts off the same as the other ones. I got my line in the middle. I subtract my 7 from both sides. And I end up with h over 5 is greater than 3. 10 minus 7 is 3. Now here's where a lot of people got stuck. How do I get rid of the 5 under the h? Well, before we were multiplying, so we divided to cancel. This time we're dividing. So you're going to multiply by 5 to cancel. Okay, so h divided by 5 times 5 crosses out my 5's. And I'm left with h is greater than 3 times 5, which is 15. Open circle, arrow to the right. Go ahead and fix anything you need to do, and then go ahead and try B. Okay, so again, add or subtract before you multiply or divide. So minus 4 on both sides. 4h is less than negative 16. And then you divide by 4 on both sides. And you're left with h is less than negative 4. Negative 4, open circle to the left. How'd you do? All right, just in case you didn't get it all copied down or your handwriting's not great, here are all the words we went over at the beginning. Hint, when you do the next practice, you might want to refer back to this table right here. Okay, so example 1, translate and graph the solution set for the following sentence. A number q, which just is saying use q for your variable, is fewer than, less than 2. So how do I graph that? I put a 2 on my number line, arrow to the left, and I might put a 1 and a 3. So 1, 2, 3, right? Okay, so I'd like you to try to do this one without the word greater than. So my graph I know is going to have a -4. What's smaller than -4? It's -5. This is -3, so make sure you do them in the right order. It's an open circle. I'm going to go to the right. But how would I say this in a way other than saying x is greater than -4? So you could say x is more than 4. Let's go back and look at the top. Is over, exceeds. Okay, so x exceeds 4. Any of those kinds of examples. This one you have to forgive me because I left my packet at school and I'm trying to remember what the problem was. I am pretty sure that you have a closed circle here and an arrow to the left. Okay, so forgive me if I'm wrong. Maybe change it to this problem if I am wrong. So what would be a way to say this other than x is less than or equal to 5? You can use the table at the top. I want you to go ahead and type in your own words another way to say this graph other than x is less than or equal to 5. So you might have said x is at most 5. X does not exceed 5. X is no more than 5. X has a maximum value of 5. Any of those would work. All right, I'm going to have you guys do another try it. I want you to try these 5 questions and then go ahead and hit continue to check them. Right, so how'd you do? Y is at most -4. It's less than or equal to -4. K is no more than 7. Again, less than or equal to. Minimum of -5, so it's greater than. Must be kept at or below, less than. And at least 20 would be greater than. Notice these are all or equal to. All of the circles should have been filled in. How'd you do? Okay, so how are equations and inequalities different? Equations have one answer, inequalities have many. But the other big thing is when I multiply or divide by a negative number, I have a special rule I have to remember for inequalities. Okay, so this note packet's missing it. So I want you to make sure you write it at the top of this last page, okay? So when I multiply or divide by that's important, a negative number, I will flip the inequality sign. Okay, and we can even add over here, quick little example. If I have -2x is less than 10, and I divide by -2 on both sides, I would be left with x is greater than -5. Okay, so my sign flips. Okay, similarly, if I have x over -3 is greater than or equal to 2, and I multiply by -3 on both sides,